If any thinking person is asked about what it means to have a successful life, somewhere in the equation, we're going to be talking about love. Now, there are many other elements of a successful life, but we want to know that we can live and love well with those who matter to us. Now, those of you who have been attached to narcissists or have encountered people of that nature know that when you're trying to have a love relationship with that narcissist, it tends not to go well, and you're the one on the receiving end of the low end of that equation. Love to a narcissist is not the same as it is to you and me. To them, love is a quid pro quo kind of equation. This for that is what it means. And basically, to them, they think, well, if you give me what I want, then I'll give you something that you want, and we've got ourselves a deal. In other words, to them, relationships are a transaction. It's not quite like a contract, but quite somewhat similar to it. They're very entitled, and they lean much more heavily on the receiving end of that equation than they do on the giving end of that equation. And so when it comes to love, they basically are thinking, I'll love you if you will give me my supply. Now, there's one primary reason that narcissists simply cannot love well. And that is, inevitably, whenever you have that relationship with them, differences are going to show up. And the one reason they can't love well is they interpret your differences or your disagreements as rejection. Plain and simple. And it's not like they're just saying, I didn't get what I want. I mean, yes, they are saying that. It goes deeper than that. When a narcissist thinks of themselves as trying to have a love relationship with you, it's like, no, you need to honor me, you need to regale me, you need to adore me, you need to put me in first place. And then when you show your disagreements, or when you show a distinction that just isn't going to be on the same page as them, they're thinking, you have now dishonored me. You've insulted me. How dare you think poorly of my priorities or my friends or my interpretations or my needs? How dare you? That's how they think. Or I have no need or interest to understand why you do the things you do or why you disagree with me. You just need to understand me. And then basically they'll come back at you and say something to the effect, well, that means that the good times that we've shared, they're not good enough. When you disagree with me or when you go rogue on me, that illustrates you're not really loyal to me. And so basically when the reason narcissists don't love well is because they're always wondering, are you going to live up to your end of the bargain? And inevitably, when you start showing your differences, they think the answer is no, you haven't lived up to your end of the bargain. Now, on the surface, we can say that narcissists who spurn love like that are playing the victim card. And that would be accurate if we say that they're playing the victim card, because they are. But ultimately, when narcissists shun a loving relationship with you, something much, much deeper is going on. And that is they're basically illustrating their childlike way of reasoning. They're basically illustrating their lack of coping skills. It's like, I don't know what to do when somebody disagrees with me. I don't know what to do when somebody doesn't tell me that I'm the greatest. And as a result, their childlike lack of coping skills prompts them to just take that highly defensive kind of posture before they get any deeper into their disappointment, because honestly, they don't know how to cope. Now, I want to go through multiple ingredients that are a part of a loving relationship, and then I want us to see what their response to those ingredients would be that illustrate that they have this lack of ability to love. For example, when we say that you have a love for someone, then that implies that you're going to have a form of patience towards them. You realize that it takes time and nurturance to grow that relationship. The narcissist is thinking, I don't have time for that. You need to know who I am quickly, and you need to figure out what I want quickly, and I don't have the patience to put up with you trying to figure things out. Or another ingredient that's a part of healthy love is having an empathy for one another. And again, the narcissist is thinking, not interested. If you want to try to show understanding toward me from my perspective, which is what empathy is, great. I think that's terrific. But I don't need to understand you from your perspective. I already know everything I need to know. Not interested in that empathy stuff. Or another ingredient of healthy love is a servant's heart, helpfulness. Now, a narcissist may show themselves to be helpful for a while, but then the rest of the story is only if I'm going to get some sort of immediate payoff. If I'll be helpful if you're going to do something immediately afterwards for me. And that's it for them. Again, it's part of that transaction that I mentioned. In addition, when you have a love for one another, there's a certain open-mindedness that you have to each other. You realize that that you have your skill set and your interest and all, and then I have mine. The narcissist is like, well, I want you to be open towards me and all of my different things, but I'm not open to you. In fact, I'm closed. The things that I like to have in my life, that's enough. That's sufficient. I have no curiosity about who you are. Now, another part of love is having a sense of friendliness. And the narcissist can say, well, sure, I'll be friendly if you do things according to what I want. And again, there's that part of a quid pro quo. I'll be friendly as long as there's something on the end of it, but I'm not going to be friendly just, I don't know, for the sake of it. Shoot, I don't do that. Or in addition, when you have a love relationship, there's an availability that you have physically and emotionally. And the narcissist is thinking, I'll be available on my terms, physically on my terms, emotionally on my terms, and typically they have shut down emotions. In love relationships, there's a generosity that you have. And the narcissist can think, I'll be generous to you, but you've got to give me back more. And inevitably, you know that you're not going to give them nearly enough. Love implies that you have a core trust for one another. And trust is one of those characteristics that narcissists have a great deal of difficulty with. It's like, well, you need to trust me, but there is no way I'm going to show trust towards you. That leaves me too wide open to vulnerability. When you love another individual, there's an ongoing sense of respect that you have, and especially respect in disagreements. Now, I know that there are times when you don't feel respectful towards someone else, and I understand that. But there are times when you just go ahead and show respect, which means that you give honor and regard towards someone simply because it's in your character to do so. And narcissist is like, nope, that's not the deal. I respect you as long as you meet up to my criteria. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen. When you have love, there's a sense of equality between the two of you. And the narcissist is thinking, equality? No way. You're not my equal, and don't you forget it. They don't see you as being an equal. They see you as being subordinate, which is a part of the reason they have difficulty loving. Part of healthy love is that you know how to be intimate. And that means that you are able to share on a deep level. Now, a narcissist may think, well, if it involves sex, okay, I'm in. But beyond that, no, I'm not going to be intimate. I'm not going to share down to the core of my being about who I am. There's no way I'm going to do something like that. And then finally, we can say that love requires commitment. I'm in it for the long haul. And the narcissist will say, I'm committed as long as I'm getting what I want. But then if I don't, then that commitment, it fades very quickly. Now, you can see that all of this is set up by the fact that the more you show yourself to be a little bit distinct, a little bit different from that narcissist, it's like, well, if that's the case, if you can't think and process life like me, then get out of here. I'm not going to do it. And then all of these insecurities and then these ineptitudes begin to show themselves for what they are. See, let's underscore a few truths here. First and foremost, narcissists love only themselves, which actually makes it a pseudo love. Because you see, love is not love until you give it away. When you give love to someone else and it's just offered, and you're not looking for all of that quid pro quo, and you're not afraid of disagreements, or you're not afraid of differences, that's when you know you have it. Narcissist is like, well, there's one person in this equation that matters most, and wouldn't you know, it happens to be me. In addition, we can say that narcissist interest in love It comes down to you living up to their functions and assignments. And your function to them is you have to make me look good and feel good. And so if you make me look good and feel good, then we love each other. And of course, that is not love. And then, of course, let's also underscore, in order for us to truly have love, it needs to be tied to some element of ethics. In other words, there's a goodness, there's a decency that comes along with love. Well, so we throw out that word ethics and narcissist in the same breath. I think you know where we're going to go on that. They don't operate according to ethics. They operate according to self-gratification. So let's close with this. The narcissist will say, I love only if it gets me what I want in the moment. If you're going to be on Team Healthy, I'm hoping you can say, I love because it's in me to do so. Love defines me. I hope that's a distinction that you can hold to, even if that narcissist has no clue what you're talking about. I do hope that videos such as this are stimulating for your thoughts. You can see Gus behind me. I think he slept through another one, didn't he? He's sound asleep back there. Anyway, I love Gus, even if he does go to sleep. See, we can have a difference, and I still love my dog. I do. If you've not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. In addition, when you have thoughts such as these that you're spurred to think about, it may dredge up some thoughts and questions on the inside of you that you'd like to discuss with a professional counselor. And right now, online counseling is quite popular and in many cases quite necessary. And so we've vetted a group that is a trusted sponsor. We have a link below that if you need some online counseling, I would encourage you to get the counseling you need and sift some of this stuff out. In addition, we have our websites, survivingnarcissism.tv, drlescarter.com. We have links to my online video workshops, and we have a library that has our books and even coffee mugs. Know that I hope that you know the way of love. And the longer you stay with a narcissist, you'll realize that you're dealing with somebody who can't match pitch with you. And so make your plans with that person accordingly. Don't try to turn it into something that it's not going to be. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that you can have a manner of love where those who do know how to appreciate what you bring can reciprocate, and you can have the reward that justly goes along with that. And in doing so, I hope that you are going to be able to find your place of peace.